The 2010 FIFA World Cup continues tomorrow on ESPN and ABC. The action begins on ESPN at 7 a.m. Eastern. Algeria faces Slovenia. Then at 9:30 a.m. it's Serbia taking on Ghana. On ABC at 2 Eastern, it'll be Germany up against Australia. And only one game, it can change everything. The 2010 FIFA World Cup on ESPN and ABC tomorrow. The World Cup's available on TV, online, and on your phone. Go to ESPNSoccerNet.com for more information. Back here at the Meijer 300 presented by Ritz, we're under our first caution. We're on the very first lap, and we'll take you back once again. Brian Scott did get back out. He is right now on the lead lap trying to catch up. And let's go on board again with Brian.
See, they've dropped down into turn one. A lot of jam up in front. You see, taking advantage of that, Brian Scott is.
3 wide.
Yeah, Brian looks like got an open track right there, but his teammate is caught on the inside right now as they get down to turn 3. And watch this.
There. 3 wide. With the 4 wide, he turned us. Hold the brakes, hold the brakes, hold the brakes, hold the brakes. Just sit right there. To the seal.
Now, here's Jason Leffler. Let's listen in.
I tell you, Levin, you're going to stick me 3 wide like that, you know. I'm not going to lift. It's a long race, and you need to be a little more patient. That wasn't on purpose. That was a mistake, but that's what happens when you get 4 wide getting into turn 3.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally got a little problem with that. I'd have thought if I was a teammate, I would have lifted so he wouldn't have wrecked both cars, but it happened, and I'm sure they'll talk about it on Monday.
All right, let's reset it for you. It's Joey Logano on the inside. Allgaier, Riggs in 3rd, Sorensen 4th, Brad Coleman 5th.
On the initial start, we saw the inside lane. All 4 cars on the inside occupied the top 4 spots. So it looked like on that initial start anyway, the inside lane was the way to go.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a safe way around the racetrack, Andy, the bottom side of the track, knowing that they had a lot of rain out there, and the second groove's not burned in at all. So you got to be a little careful on the top right now.
A little further back, you saw the 32 of Reed Sorensen. Now look at the battle for second heating up as the 21 of Scott Riggs gets underneath Justin Allgaier, and he's got the spot. And again, we're seeing the top 3 cars trying to pull away and make a little room. And they're double file behind them.
It's not going to take only a couple of laps to really get a little bit of rubber on that second lane and get it cleaned up a little bit. I mean, get all the dust and dirt and grime off of it. And you can see right now Mike Bliss going to the bottom. You see Reed Sorensen, Paul Menard working that second lane. And right now it looks like he got some grip up there right now.
I think this track, you carry the banking pretty far off the corner. The straightaway is banked about 8 degrees, the front stretch. So coming off turn 4, you carry a lot of that banking, and that outside lane can work for you there.
Well, Brad Coleman's getting passed by Paul Menard. So Coleman, who started second in this field, said he was going to be patient, but has fallen back now. And now he's got the 33 of Mike Bliss taking a peek underneath, and Carl Edwards trying to sneak up into this mix as well. Josh Wise in the 7 has dropped back. You see him behind Carl in that 60 car.
You know, we had conversation coming into this race about Carl Edwards not showing up for practice last night and how that would affect the 60 car. He's been struggling a little bit this year, but last weekend he had a really good race, a good top 5 finish, and Eric Darnell set that car up. And Carl's told us earlier that, hey, I'm comfortable with what Darnell did. And right now, it looks like Carl's car is running pretty good.
Right behind him, a good battle going on. You've got Trevor Bayne door-to-door with the 7 of Josh Wise. And Bayne looks like he's going to be able to clear him. Yes, he does. And here comes the 43 of Scott Lagacy trying to tuck underneath. Couldn't get there.
Yeah, really good run for Legacy. A good run for right here Josh Weiss in the 7 car and qualifying for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He proved he can get it done. Now he's just got to get this thing to the end of the race. So be careful in the first part of this race.
He's dropped back from 4th to 10th. How about checking in on points leader, Brad Keselowski, the 22. Remember, he started 25th. He's already up to 18th, guys.
Being pretty careful. I've watched him a little bit. He's just kind of picking his way through these cars, taking the spot whenever it opens up.
You know, he flew over from Michigan last night along with Joey Logano, and these two tested their cars and got them set up the way they wanted to. Brad came back from Michigan today, got in the car to qualify, and it was very loose, sliding all over the racetrack. He told us, he says, I know I got a lot better car than that. When the track cools down, I'll get a lot better. And Andy, it looks right now the car's much better.
Yeah, it looks good, but it's going to be tougher to pass those cars as he moves further up in the lineup.
Let's move farther forward in the field because Scott Riggs has got a mirror full of the 12 of Justin Allgaier and then Reed Sorensen right back there in 4th position. You're saying, wait a minute, where's the race leader? Oops, way up there, about 2 seconds ahead. And Joey Logano's trying to run away and hide from everybody. Here goes Allgaier taking a look underneath as they go down the backstretch. Can he clear Riggs this time and retake 2nd place? Yes. And immediately Riggs tries to duck right underneath him.
And Marty, I'll tell you, when he can get up in front and what I call that clean air, I know people get tired of hearing about it, but as you see the Reed Sorensen and Riggs racing side by side, Justin Allgaier got that number 12 Dodge in what I call that clean air. Gives you all that downforce. And, man, I'm telling you what, that makes the cars drive so much better. And that's what Joey Logano's got right now also.
I watch that 12 car. He's going through the middle of the corner. Great. The last lap, he was actually faster than Joey Logano. And like you said, Joey Logano is definitely in clean air. Nobody around him.
All right, while we've got all this, let's update you on a couple of cars. The 92 of Setzer and the 61 of Carter are both behind the wall. Scott Wimmer is a lap down already as he has dropped to 41st position. And there's also more troubles for the 11 of Brian Scott. You already saw the ding in the back. That's when he crunched the wall, but we're hearing that he may have scraped the wall just a few laps ago, but
he's all the way out of the groove. Yeah, that's a little more than a scrape.
Yeah, that's more than a scrape.
I tell you, if he could see what his rear spoiler looks like, he'd understand why. That thing is really laid back. Andy, there can't hardly be any downforce on the back of this car because of that.
Oh, God, it's got to be just absolutely destroyed aerodynamically there.
Battle for 4th. You see Brad Coleman in the 18 trying to get underneath Scott Riggs in that 21. He's side by side through the corner. Can Coleman take the spot as they exit? Doesn't look like he has him clear yet. Let's get an update on the 21, Vince.
Well, this is a big race for Scott Riggs. This is his last of a 2-race deal on this 21 team, and they're running very well, but they just don't have the funding from Riggs' perspective to continue on with this team. So Scott Riggs told me tonight, he said, they're racing for sponsorship. I'm racing for my career. I wouldn't expect Riggs to leave anything on the table tonight here in Kentucky.
And we're very early into this race right now. And look out, we're hearing word that Carl Edwards has slowed all of a sudden.
Yeah, about 3 or 4 cars past Carl Edwards in 3 and 4 and down the front straightaway. Now we see 2 more just kind of filing by this 60. Don't know what the problem is. Dave, do you know what the problem is with the 60?
Yep, Carl radioed on lap 8, super loose for the 60 car and just a little bit tight in the center of the corner, but mainly loose was what Carl was complaining about.
Well, Brendan Gaughan's going underneath him right now. He's going the wrong direction.
Well, I'll tell you guys, we talked about this earlier in our show. I really think he needed to make the effort and get over from Michigan over here to get this car handling better, and now he's paying for it.
I'm not sure. You don't think he may have something wrong like a flat tire, because he's really slow.
Well, he really could have. What's it look like in times right now? Almost about a second off the pace. But he's loose. He's all over the place right now. The car's not handling. Could be a right rear tire. We can't see that from here, but could be.
Just screaming loose.
Scott Riggs, meanwhile, has got his eyes full on the left side of Trevor Bayne.
Up on the right front into 3, and then it just slams down, pitches sideways.
That's still Carl Edwards' radio, giving you an idea of what the problem is. He's trying to diagnose it for the crew. Meanwhile, Trevor Bayne's side by side again with Riggs. That is a battle for 7th on the racetrack. Here comes Josh Wise as he's trying to work his way back up. He started 4th, drifted back to 10th.
I'll tell you, Trevor's going the right direction. He had an early draw in qualifying. The car got slipping and sliding on him, and he didn't qualify that good, but we knew that he had a good race car, and now it's starting to get through the front pretty easy, to tell you the truth.
So Josh Wise still side by side with the 21 of Riggs. Let's also update you. Setzer, Carter, now Danny O'Quinn is behind the wall. And boy, Carl Edwards is still having all kinds of problems. He has dropped back to 19th position, guys. Now 20th as Brian Eichler has gotten past him.
You got to believe that on lap 25 when the mandatory caution comes out, that these guys can get down pit road, get this thing fixed.
We might raise the hood, just look at everything. It feels like maybe a control arm's broke or loose or something. It holds itself up, and then it just falls on its nose and slides loose.
It sounds like, it just honestly sounds like he's got a sway bar issue. Maybe a sway bar link has come loose when he goes down in the corner. It just doesn't have anything to hold it.
Well, can they wait till lap 25?
Well,
I mean,
they don't have a choice, really. They're just going to ride it out if he can stay on the racetrack, try to stay on the lead lap.
All right, we'll be back for that competition caution. It should be right around lap number 25, according to NASCAR officials. Joey Logano right now leads by 1.8 seconds, but we know that's going to go away. What we don't know is, can Carl Edwards get his car fixed?